So thanks, Doug. Thanks, Eric, for coming and talking about innovation and technology. I believe innovation is one of those terms that gets thrown around very loosely, and there's probably a million different ways that people define and use innovation. What does that really mean to SoundOff? And, how are you using the term innovation, and what are you doing with it?
Yeah, that's a great question, Marnie. I get this occasionally, and it's helpful for all of us to understand as well. Innovation, while we have a department and a team called innovation, it's really not just that. It's all of us.
Yep.
If we look around the company, it's really every single department from our folks in the field, customer support. Look at our supply chain,
Right.
The heroism
Yeah.
to keep our industry-leading lead times going. Everyone is having to be innovative, which is really coming down to having a forward look, being able to anticipate and have plans to be ready for what's coming next. And innovation in our markets, safety is never done. We have our customers and their vehicles, but there's also the motoring general public that's also affected by that. So we believe we can help everybody. That's kind of a why statement for us. And in our business, is it just lighting? I think it's a lot more than lighting. I really think we're in a communication business, and we have a visual piece of our business. We have an audio piece of our business, and the really exciting piece now is the data and the connected and the automation side of our business.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And people think of it as just bright lights and loud sirens, but there's really a lot more that goes on with that. So Eric, as the leader of engineering, what's your take on how innovation works within your group?
Yeah, similar to what Doug said, it is a way of life. It's not just the department. We actually mix very well. The way I look at it is product development as a whole is innovation.
Right.
So there is the front end. There's Doug and his team are looking out in the 2 to 5 year time period, and then once we get to a point where we agree on something's ready to go to market, that's when it moves over into the product development side of the execution, and we're looking in the 1 to 2 year time frame. So it becomes seamless. Doug and I are talking often on what makes sense
Right.
To be working on, and we establish priorities and
what the transition points are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
perfect. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm sure you've had to get really innovative with the chip shortages and all the redesigns.
We have actually, yes.
Yeah. And now that group grows with the materials team and the innovation team and your team. So yeah, that's great. So I know that SoundOff has just entered the fire EMS market, and that's super exciting. A lot of new challenges,
Yeah,
a lot of
for
new
sure.
products. I mean, it is an adjacent market, so you see some similarities. But how are you bringing innovation to an industry that probably hasn't seen a lot of that lately?
Yeah. Geez. So, as you said, SoundOff is not a Me Too company. We are not in it just to figure out what other people are doing to do the same thing. Really, the way that we started jumping into this was roughly 6 years ago is when we brought silicone
Right.
into the police market. And there's just a ton of advantages that we're seeing with silicone. It's durable. It has impact resistance. And this is one that we haven't really touched on yet. It's high temperature resistant, so we can really push the LEDs a lot more. And so, that's what we're looking to bring in. And then the thing with silicone, it has a lot of the same properties as glass, but it's also flexible and also easier to design. So we have all kinds of design freedom. So our lights are really jewel-like when you look at them. And so that's again, it's not a Me Too. It's the lights are there, but we're bringing a different look with a different technology.
Sure. And that's the Empower brand, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
So, Doug, our history, though, has been in law enforcement. And we've been in law enforcement for a very long time. Silicone lights have been introduced there. What else are we doing to bring innovation to an industry that we've been in for a long time and they know us?
Yeah, I think even coming back to that communication approach of our business, what else do we do with that visual communication is something we started looking at. Back in 2018 already, we started with some things, and in 2019 we had our first symposium out in the marketplace where we started talking about calming the chaos and really being intentional with our visual communication. But to advance that further, we found we had to understand how people work. What's the human side of that? So we actually got involved in research, and what better way than to go with the industry-leading researchers.
Right.
And some of that work, which is now our sync technology, where all the vehicles can align and really reduce that multi-vehicle chaos, if you will. We're able to see what the direct measurable safety advantage of that is. And hey, this year, in April, this spring, it published internationally the SAE World Congress experience. It came out, and it's now a formal global publication.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That was interesting, and it's a great collaborative effort with our industry partners, our law enforcement partners. They let us use their vehicles, so it is completely real life. It's not just a simulation.
Sure.
Yeah.
So can we talk a little bit about electrification? What are you doing there?
Yeah, that's interesting. I think the biggest way to describe what we're doing is learning. Every single day we're learning. What are the new pros and cons? I read what the marketing materials say the electric vehicles should be, but I'm looking at the engineering side and to look at the balance. And what we're really trying to do is filter what's most meaningful for our customers. What would help them out?
Yep.
So it's energy consumption. It's how do we tie into systems. Maybe it's a CAN bus today and an automotive Ethernet tomorrow. We have a lot of different technology and integration, and there goes that data and connectivity piece again.
Absolutely.
And as we go forward past electric vehicles, what about the smart city integration and some of the other pieces coming? So there's really a lot around electric vehicles. Think of that as a shift in mobility, but it won't all happen at once. And then when you have pieces that are moving forward in one technology and others that aren't, how do we keep them safe together? And there's some cool opportunities for us.
Well, it sounds like you have just a little bit of work to do.
There is a little bit of work to do.
Well, great. Thanks, guys.